I'm Kenita Catera Hickman, and I own Catera, which is a brand strategy and management firm where we help musicians to be seen and heard. When I was an artist manager, a lot of my time was spent on finding gigs, booking gigs, promoting gigs, and then repeating. And when I spoke with my colleagues who were also managing, their time was spent the same way. The reality is we just didn't have the resources like time or even a team to support us in thinking about strategy or objectives and how to make sure everything that we did was aligned to suit our clients. Have you ever given that any thought? How your favorite musician went from person singing in a church to playing in stadiums? Like, what do you do after you've played Summerfest twice and after every local publication has covered you? How do you build a regional tour and find funders to sponsor you? How do you get out of the city? Catera fits that need. We help musicians to be seen and heard. We believe values plus brand equals culture. And to do that, we focus on 5 specific areas: brand strategy, goal setting, marketing, public relations, and strategic partnerships. Now, I know that sounds really, really awesome. However, if you have a business that doesn't have a way to make money, you have a hobby. Here's how Catera plans to tackle that. So we're going to start with packages that range from $500 to $2,500, where artists can work with us project-based or on a retainer, and we'll be focusing those 5 key areas to suit their needs and objectives. There's also Catera Sessions, which is a series of workshops for musicians and entrepreneurs, as well as speaking engagements like the one that I did for Milwaukee a few weeks ago. Our City, Your Vote. It's a music and civic engagement initiative that I created last year. And branded content, like my column that appears in Edible Milwaukee called Artist Eats, where I get to focus on musicians through the lens of food. Tonight you had an opportunity to hear a little bit about my passion and the work that drives me and how I plan to create revenue. Catera ultimately wants to create that space for musicians. I want to create a space where they can do work they love and get paid doing it. I thank you so much for your time. I do hope you'll make time to come to my table. I can't wait to meet you. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Can you give a little bit more background on the packages? Like, just pick one and talk about the package and what it offers.
So the $500 package, it includes 7 to 10 hours. And I like that one because what it allows me to do is, again, work with the team, figure out what the needs are. So for example, one client that I recently met with, they're looking to put together a campaign to promote a blog and a play that they have coming up. So with 7 to 10 hours, it's not a whole lot of time, but I can put together something that your team that's already in place can help implement.
Okay. I know you stated that you want to work with artists, but there's so many businesses that could use your services. Mm-hmm. Will you open up your services to other businesses, and will you change your model to state that as well too? Because I'm sure Julian meets a lot of people that could probably use some branding and what you're offering. So why limit yourself?
Absolutely. So my plan is to eventually include space for creative entrepreneurs. So I've already started meeting with authors and elected officials. What I found in my research is especially new officials and new Black electeds or those running struggle with finding people to join their team because experienced folks ain't sure they can win. And what I've found with branding and the idea of values is that that's missing from a lot of the work that folks are out there doing. You haven't connected what you're doing, you haven't rooted it in values. Values plus brand creates culture, and culture creates community, and people want to buy into community. They want to buy into cultures. And so I think that that's a transferable skill that can work in a variety of different industries, and I'm definitely looking forward to expand.
I felt you had a great presentation. One thing I had a question about was competitive advantage. Mm-hmm. How would you say you can uniquely differentiate yourself from the competition?
Well, I think one of the big things that differentiates myself is that I have a vast amount of experience, not just as a freelance journalist, but also in radio and public relations, not just with independent musicians, but major musicians as well in terms of the freelance writing side. So I'm able to navigate relationships in different ways because I've worked on both sides. That can be really beneficial. When we think about my Edible Milwaukee feature, that is a very affluent food magazine. And I approached them wanting to create a space for musicians to be able to talk about food. It was something they hadn't really considered before. That is not something I see enough people doing, especially here in Milwaukee, as it relates to independent musicians. Having said that, my latest article has had over 100 shares in 2 days. So. And that was with a vegan Northside hip hop artist who wore a bulletproof vest to the photo shoot. So, and they put that in the article. So,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
You're so welcome. Let's give it up for Catera, Kanita Hickman.